Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Drop Daily. I'm RJ. This is March 30th, 2020. We're here to tell you 5 things you should know for today. As you know, there's a ton of streaming stuff out there, so we want to try and curate stuff a little bit, give you a little bit of guidance, and let you know what we think is interesting. And starting this week, we're going to have a lot more original Osiris content that we want to tell you about as well. So we're going to jump in there. One question for you all. What have you been listening to in terms of music streaming? What's a show that you've seen that's been really good? What's something that you've been really excited about? And I'm interested, and I think we're all interested at Osiris in hearing about people's changing habits, what they like, what's out there, and what you're interested in. So shoot us a note, Twitter, Facebook, email, whatever. Let us know. So let's jump in. 5 things you need to know for today, Monday, March 30th. Number 1, Jesse Jarnow came on Under the Scales with Tom and me. We had a good interview, and it was really interesting. Jesse, of course, has a long history with Phish. He's written a lot about them, including a pretty notable article that he wrote in 2004 after the Vegas shows, which we talk about. But we also talk about After Midnight, the podcast that he did with Osiris, which was just, he did such a phenomenal job writing it and hosting it, narrating it. And we talked to him a lot about that. And he's also written a bunch of books on Yo La Tengo, on, the psychedelic movement called Heads, Wasn't That a Time, about the Weavers. And he's just got a really interesting take on music and a really, really great perspective on a lot of kind of cultural and musical evolutions over the decades. So we had a really good time. And Tom edits all of the Under the Scales himself. So he had some music, and we had a good time. So we think you might enjoy it. Check it out. Link is in the show notes. Number 2, there's a new program starting today on Osiris called Art with Zart. Our friend Sarah Zeffro, who's an artist in Pittsburgh, she's aiming to do some art lessons and teaching and have some fun with kids. So that'll be at 5 o'clock today, and we're hoping to do that every day, Monday through Friday. I'm looking forward to it because we could use a little bit of time, for our kids to learn from someone else. So that should be really cool. And she's a great artist. She's a really cool person, and we think you might enjoy that. So check out the link in the show notes and tune in at 5 o'clock. Number 3, at 8 o'clock tonight, we'll be streaming a Never Before Seen set from Runaway Gin from March of this year, early March, from Boston. And you can check out the Osiris Twitter and check out the show notes to see a little teaser from Andy Greenberg, the guitarist. They've been doing a lot more video recordings of their shows, and it's really cool. I think, these bands who are now kind of going back to the stuff that they have and trying to share it with fans, I think it's cool to kind of recreate that concert experience. So check out 8 o'clock on Osiris YouTube. You'll see a Runaway Gin show that hasn't been played before. So we think that's pretty interesting, and we hope you enjoy it. Number 4, right after Runaway Gin, my team, the HF Pod team, will go live at 9:30. We're going to start previewing the Dinner and a Movie shows. The Dinner and Movie show for tomorrow on Tuesday, of course, is the Tweezer Fest from MPP 2014, which one of the most memorable shows I've ever been to, and I'm excited to watch that. But on the HF Pod Live, we're going to take questions from you all on social media. We're going to talk about music generally and try to just, provide a few minutes of entertainment ourselves and preview that show that's coming up tomorrow. So that'll be around 9:30 again on Osiris YouTube. So check that out and hope you enjoy that. And then finally, number 5, Touchdowns All Day had Disco Biscuits manager Evan Winokur on. Evan has been a Biscuits fan for a really long time, but he's also a manager and talks with John a lot about the fan experience, the bands, the venues, what's going on in this crazy era, and what happens to everyone who, is affected by this in the music world. And we think it's important to kind of bring you these conversations when they happen and see, what we can learn from it and what we can do to support the artists we love, of course. So we'll link to that in the show notes and hope you enjoy Touchdowns All Day. John has the best monologue game in the podcast world. So we hope you're enjoying that, and we'll check you out. We hope you'll check that out. Finally, if you didn't see it, Tom Marshall yesterday released a remix of one of his old Amphibian songs called Skip the Goodbyes with the band that he recorded it with, and with a solo from Trey, who did a solo on the original track. And we'll link to that in the notes, of course. But if you haven't seen it, it's really cool. It's nice to see all these guys coming back together on the same song, remix of the same song 20 years later. And it's cool to see Trey putting down a solo on a Tom song. And as you guys know, Tom and Trey have been writing virtually a lot of different songs. There's a lot of new music out there from Trey and from Phish, which I think bodes really well for when they do come back. And congrats, Tom, on getting that out there, and I'm continuing to write awesome stuff. All right, we'll leave it there. We'll see y'all tomorrow for Tuesday, March 31st, and we hope you all have a good afternoon, and check out some of this stuff and let us know what you think. We'll see y'all soon.